Hi there, welcome to Sunnyside Journals. Welcome to my challenge. Ooh, you were expecting 30 minutes of my day, weren't you? Well, it's still going to be 30 minutes. But I thought that I would keep this in its own sort of little YouTube file, playlist. Nancy and I were chatting a week or so ago about how we enjoy the challenge of using actual ephemera, actual pages, actual fussy cut illustrations to make our journals. Many junk journal creators use digital prints, which is fine. This isn't meant to dismiss or discount any other kinds of art. We just personally enjoy, and I think that's why we sort of hit it off when we sort of discovered each other and saw each other's work. We just enjoy the challenge of making something pretty, first of all, out of an old book, but second of all, using old stuff to put into the old book. It's just, I don't know, it's so satisfying to me. Making finding the pages from other books to put into it. I think I'm going to sneeze. Hold on, and I'll probably forget what I'm talking about, but I have to pause because there's definitely a sneeze. No, there was no sneeze. Anyhow, it's just a similar thing, although in some ways our styles are different. Boy, she is the queen of fabric and needlepoint and handiwork with sewing in journals. But I still think the spirit of our journals are very similar because of our love of using old things, repurposing old things in. So we were chatting about that, and we decided that it would be fun to do a series together and do a challenge ourselves, not necessarily each other. We root each other on. But to challenge ourselves to create a journal, and the only extra ephemera or extra old stuff used to decorate paper-wise into our journal can only come from one magazine. So we were allowed to pick our magazine that we want to use, and we can use whatever we want out of the magazine, as much of it as we can out of it, and but that's what we have to use. So for example, say I wanted to put a tag in my journal and I wanted a bird on it. Well, I better find the bird in here because it's got to come out of this magazine. Do you see what I mean? I can't raid my fussy cut bird stash. Or if I want, a picture of a child, I better find it in this magazine because I can't raid my Dick and Jane book, Fussy Cuts, or that sort of thing. We set ourselves a few ground rules that we agreed to. So we, for our pages in the book that we choose, we can still use our tea-dyed paper. We can still use the usual kinds of papers. We use very similar papers to make our signatures. So leaves out of other books, I'm quite sure I'm going to put some music in here. I'm going to put some maybe Pitman shorthand or a dictionary page or, a page out of an encyclopedia. I don't know yet. Obviously, I'm not there yet. But we could still use lace. We can still use ribbons, trims, things like that. Our challenge is for the ephemera, for the paper kind of decorating. So say I wanted a pretty little border along here, and normally I would have cut up some scrapbook paper to make a border along there. I'm going to have to figure out where I can find, I could use some blue off here and I can make my border from that. See what I mean? It's going to be a fun challenge. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she creates from her magazine. I don't know yet what she's doing, so I'll know when you know, when we go watch her video. And the link will be below here. So if you want to go see hers, I'll put the link below. So I'll explain to you now what I have chosen for me. I ran a whole gamut of what magazine I was going to use. Now, I only went between 2 different books. There was another one that I had chosen before this one, but I like this one. And I've liked it for a while, been waiting for the right time to use it, and this is the right time to use it. So let me talk about the book first. I love this book. I love the royal blue and the gold detailing on it, and the title. It's a book of romance stories. And now I'm very, very hesitant to pronounce that. I'm going to try. Please forgive me. Aucassin and Nicolette and Other Romances. I think that it is what it is. I loved the spine. I think it's very, very pretty. I like the size. I usually do a big journal. This one's going to be a sweet little journal, and it's time. Now, I will have a bit of a challenge with this. It was in a sort of a cellophane kind of wrapper when I got it from, I'm not sure, thrift store or my little book sale that I loved going to. And this red, there was red on this plastic. So the plastic that was meant to protect the book actually, in the end, damaged the book because it's left red marks along the top and bottom. And I have tried to remove that, and I can't. So I'm going to have to think of what I want to do about those red marks. I'm going to think about it. But I've tried a few different things, and it's just in there without damaging the cover and the color of the cover. Not worth it. I'd rather just leave it as it is if I had to. But I don't think I'll have to. I got a few ideas. We'll see. This book is from 1951. There it is up here, 1951. The paper in it is still very nice because it's not that old. Just a little bit older than me. Oh, that's fun when that happens. Look at that. So obviously it's never been read. Or else the person who read it held it open like this and read inside. Look at that. And that means there's another side to that somewhere else. I love when you find little flaws like that in a book. And that obviously explains why it's in such nice condition. It's in very nice condition. So this is, I think this is going to be very pretty. I love the colors, like I said, and of course, gold. I love when there's gold. Now, the magazine that I chose, I was all over the place with what magazine I want. Initially, I thought I wanted to use a 1942 magazine, a Canadian one called the Canadian Home Journal. And it was really cool. But I did find that, as was typical for that era, it really, really was their audience they were aiming for was newly married brides or girls that want to be newly married brides. Every ad, was to how to keep yourself pretty for when he comes home, or else it was not getting any dates. Maybe you should try Listerine and deodorant. And you know what? I definitely will use many of those in other things. But seeing as I had to have a magazine that was going to wear a lot of hats, because I needed to be able to make my end papers out of the magazine, and then find just some fun things to create my journal from. So I thought about a National Geographic. I actually had it in my hand, and I actually said to myself out loud, this is the one, and it wasn't the one. Then I thought for a little while I had a Saturday Evening Post, and I thought, okay, I'm going to do this Saturday Evening Post. But I decided against that one because there wasn't a laxative ad in it, and I'm just really feeling the need to make a tag out of a laxative ad. And you can always count on a good British ladies magazine to have several laxative advertisements in it. So this is the one I decided upon. March 1949, Woman's Journal. And that was kind of serendipitous, I guess, because this is 1951. So it's really in a similar era. So I do think that whatever content I use out of this magazine will do it justice. We'll do this little book justice. It's so new, I have a feeling this is going to be a little tricky to gut, but we're up for the task. So this magazine, as I said, it's British. The ads in it are just lovely. I love all the beautiful outfits and hats and high heels and underwear. And it's, look at how cute all these, like I can see those as journaling tags. Although this page I can't, because I think my end papers, I think I'm going to use this page as end papers. We'll see. And I think I'm going to use this page as the opening end paper. I just love her. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that dotted Swiss on her hat. Holding her hat on and covering her face demurely. I love it. She's got a walking stick. She's bought herself some flowers. Yes. Who needs those magazines telling you how to get a man? Women can buy their own flowers. But it's nice when someone else gets you some. Anyhow. Yeah, there's cute little, there's Prince Charles as the little guy. This is when Queen Elizabeth was still Princess Elizabeth. So that's kind of cool. We'll have to find a way to put that in. But lots of fun stuff. I rather liked this little illustration, and I thought for a while maybe that would be a cute end paper. And it still might be, because she could be the young girl who grows up to be this young lady. I don't know yet. I don't know. Anyhow, there will be a few little pieces missing out of here because I have already rated it for other journals. But that's okay. There's plenty to work from in here. There's lots of romance and cooking and recipes. And I love all the advertisements. I just love her. Look at the little kicky leg. Well, she's kneeling on the chair there, posing. Ah, it's going to be fun. I am really, really looking forward to this. And of course, my favorite, it's falling apart here. My favorite parts of old magazines are the ads. I just love the ads. Come on, let's turn the page. So cool. And this can be used if we fussy cut. That was one of our challenges. If we, not fussy cut, if we do a collage, we need to use the papers from our magazine to make our collage. Like normally if I'm going to collage, because I collage now, I have my little basket. I got my label maker collage bits. This is my basket of collage bits. I can't use this. I have to make my collages from the magazine. So this is going to be fun. I am really looking forward to this. I'm still sort of getting a feel for, usually will work itself out whether there's going to be a theme or whether this is just going to turn into an all sorts. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's some that's missing. Wonder what it was. Milk of magnesia. Ah. Must have been for baby gas. They love the ads for baby gas. So cool. insomnia, asthma. Very cool. So anyhow, so there's my challenge. I'm so looking forward to seeing what Nancy says. I don't know yet. I haven't seen her book, or if she's going to make one of her famous covers that she makes from scratch. And I don't know what magazine she's using. So that's going to be exciting. How are we for time here? We got time. We could get started and take this book apart. And then decide on for now I'm just gonna call it challenge. I'm sure she'll end up with a name eventually. We need to measure. So 5 by 7 1/4 by just a little one, 3/4. All right, 3/4 would be usually 3 signatures, but I think I will put 5 in, 5 smaller ones rather than 3 regular sized ones. So I'm just going to start seeing if I can lift it away a bit, the text block from the cover, so that I have room here to get my little X-Acto blade in there. So hold it apart. This is what I'm aiming for right here. Let me stand up and make sure I'm in camera before I go to all this work, because we only get to, let's turn that out. Or did that help? I don't think that's helping. I only get to cut this once, so I'd like you to be able to see it. I wonder if I can go down closer. Hold on, let's see. All right, let's try that, and then hopefully I'll remember to go back again. So, holding it apart, I'm going to go in here and just use the tip and cut along there. Now, when you're gutting a book, you could very well run into sort of a gauze, a linen type gauze, or you can run into bands. Some publishers use bands, some use both. Some just use the paper, and it's just all held in with paper. That is thinner than I thought. Okay. The shoulders are a little thinner than I thought, which surprises me for a book that doesn't look like it's been read. I'm going to try by doing it without this back page. Sometimes it's easier to get in at this crevice by pulling back this back page. I'm not going to use it as a full page. I may cut out that and fussy cut that and use it somewhere, but sometimes it's easier to get in there by getting this out of the way, because this is all one piece, right? Let's try again. Just the very tippy tip. And I'm sorry if you can't see it, but I gotta see what I'm doing, because I don't want to cut the book or me. Well, the back of the spine of the book. There we go. Now let's see if we did it without cutting the book. Yay! Eureka! Pull this back. There you go. Excellent. There's the gauze I was telling you about that we was probably in there and is. Let's take it out. We're going to put new in, so that doesn't matter. There we go. Now this side should be a little easier because I can pull the cover, I can ease it out of the way now that I've got one side free. Now I may do the same thing and unglue this end paper. Now this is interesting. It says here 1852, 1953, medieval romance, but here this new edition was published in 1951. So I guess it was published in advance of this 1953 anniversary, I suppose. All right, now I want to make sure I've got as much room as possible and that the cover is out of the way. There we go. All right, so I've pulled this out of the way. I'm keeping it over there, so I'm using one hand, fingers to hold that in that direction, and thumb and fingers to hold that in that direction. And then we'll go down, and I'll try my best to stay close to the text block rather than the cover. And again, you're going through that gauze. Looks like no bands, so that helps. The worst books for trying to gut are the junior school, the younger grade textbook type books where they did punch holes in this direction and then also staples. Oh my goodness, those things. Not only are they a physical workout, but they're a mental workout. They're so frustrating to try and get the cover off nicely and retain the pages nicely. Oh boy, please, please, please. Come on. Oh, are you going to just let go? That'd be nice if you just let go. You going to just let go? Go ahead. I don't care about the back. Yeah. That'll work. Okay. Text block's out. Now we have to look and see if we ripped it. And it's okay. Yay. All right. I'm going to lift the camera back up now. Now, I won't know until I rewatch this whether my hands were in the way the whole time. And if they were, I apologize. Like I said, there's just no getting around it. Hold on. There we go. Now, we've got a few more minutes. We've got, what have we got? We're at 23 minutes. So we've got about 7 more minutes. So we can, I'm just going to keep plugging away here for now. And let's see how far we can get today. This one off as well. All right. So we're going to have new end papers. I'm not worried about those. I can use this. I can use that. See how they're a repeat? Let's see if we can get this liner out in one piece. Or if it's going to give us grief. Oh, one end out. Good. Come on, come on. Yes! Oh, that's nice. Okay. All right, I'll use that to make my template for the new spine and for the backing for when I sew my signatures together. wonder how hard that's going to be. Knife and tweezers. I'm just going to go at it with the tweezers for now and see if it scrapes off or if I'm going to have to cut it off. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do to camouflage the red line on the cover. Since there's gold on it, that helps, because if I can see, I have a few gold options. I have wax, gilding wax, and I have an 18 karat gold marker, and I have another gold marker, and I could very well just simply run lines over the red since there's already gold here, and that could look quite nice. Or I could put lace on it, but I wasn't looking into making this a shabby chic kind of book. I like the simplicity of that cover. So I'm gonna process it. I think it's not lifting enough to use this. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. This is my wonderful bookbinding knife that my son-in-law made for me. Smooth that down. So this is one of those parts of repurposing an old cover that can seem quite tedious, but is well worth it in the end, because you'll get a nicer edge when we lay down our new end papers, and it'll look like they were always there. I'm curious what size that is. I'm gonna hold on. Let's see. So see, that's 1 inch, whereas I thought the spine was 3/4 of an inch. But because this was professionally bound, we've got that sort of mushroom shape there, right? They will put their text block into a press and hammer it. They'll beat it with a mallet and create it into that nice shape that then becomes the basis to make the curve in the spine, which isn't what we do when we turn a book into a junk journal. I think I might go with 1 inch and then adjust it smaller if I need to. So it would be 1 inch by 7 1/8. Okay, I'm going to go with that to start, and if I need to trim it back, because see, the reason it's a 1 inch instead of my 3/4, again, these areas here, it's sticking out here, it's sticking out here, these little shoulders, I'm not necessarily going to fit into that, because I'm not going to be, as I said, using a mallet pounding my text block into that shape. My text block is simply going to rest down that trough. Down this trough. Oh, it's upside down. So I hope that makes sense to you. So what I will do is initially make 1 inch. I will lay it in here before I curve it, because I will be curving this. We'll do that tomorrow. And then I'll see if I need to trim off maybe even 1/8 or the full 1/4 of an inch. We'll see. Okay, well, I'm always curious about things like that. hubby's working today. Normally this would be my day that I go to my little church book sale, but they can't open yet. We are still on a province-wide lockdown. They're starting to make noises that maybe by June 14th, we'll be able to start opening things with some restrictions in place. So, you know, the usual things. We've lived through this. This is our third one. We're pros at it now. Oh, no, don't tell me that. You know, limiting the numbers of people in stores, that sort of thing. All right, well, I'm going to keep picking away at this, and the next time we get together, it'll look really nasty. But then it'll slowly start looking good. Anyhow, so if you haven't already, go on over and see what Nancy's up to, because that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to head over and see what she's doing for her magazine choice and her cover. Yay! Thanks for stopping by today. I really, really appreciate you subscribing to my channel. And if you haven't already, please think about clicking subscribe and clicking that bell and joining me in the mornings. We'll talk soon. Bye.